Hey, kings and queens, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Nicole. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. Appreciate it. I'm your girl, Nicole, and today is episode 9 of my raw vegan / plant-based interview series. I haven't done one in quite some time, so I've been slacking. But today I have a special guest, Taharka Chango. I've known him for quite some time. Fell out of touch and then found him somehow on social media again. And, he's been eating a vegan diet for quite some time, but I don't want to get into the details. I'll let him tell his story. So without further ado, let's bring in Taharka. Everybody, welcome Taharka. I've known him for quite some time and fell out of touch, and then somehow I found him again on social media. So Taharka, okay, so let's just get to it because I only got 20 minutes with you. Tell me, well, first, where are you from?
Oakland, California.
Are you?
The Bay Area.
What's your ethnic background?
Hey, so my ethnic background is Cameroonian and Jamaican.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's where my DNA is.
Yeah. Okay, I heard that. So you have a little different situation than most people I interview. You were actually born into a vegan household. Is that correct? Your mother and father, or just your mother?
My father taught his wives how to eat properly and diet properly, and we all adopted it as the household. So it was his strict diet, and everybody had to follow suit. And,
was it?
So that was like maybe 13, 14 years of our lives. It was just raw vegan.
So you not only was it vegan, but it was raw.
It was raw vegan, yeah. It was
wow. Okay, so the first 13 years of your life, you were basically a raw vegan.
Raw vegan, a vegetable.
I love that. That's dope. To be born into that, like that's all you knew. So what did you eat?
That's literally all I knew. It was crazy eating? Because I couldn't go to my to school without a prepackaged lunch. A fresh vegetable, fresh salad, couscous, olives. I would have like dry fruit snacks, like a hash posh trail mix that was like homemade trail mix. I would eat something called the meal every night. That comprised of like a Mediterranean based medley of foods. And for breakfast we'll have like dried oats with like chopped fresh fruits, peanut butter, honey, and it was a very strict environment. It was a very strict environment. Our lunchtime we would have like fresh fruits or dry fruits, and like us like our like us going crazy with like apple juice or like some kind of juice, you know what I'm saying?
That was your junk food?
That was our junk food. Like our junk food was like dates and cherries.
Yes, I love that. That's dope. Like you were a kid eating like that. And I know, did you get tormented from the kids at school?
Oh, terrible. All the time. Kids were terrible back then. They were calling us aliens, and always felt like segregated because like we would bring our own lunch all the time. We would bring our own lunch to school.
Yeah.
And our a few of my brothers and I tried school lunch before, and our parents knew immediately because like we got sick.
Oh.
And like we usually would never get sick. So like they were like, no, something happened. Like what did you do? Like, and like we would like confess I ate like some bull crap at the cafeteria, and then like we would get chastised and this.
You ate some of that fake mac and cheese. No.
That fake pizza. That terrible pizza in elementary is terrible.
So you were like a raw vegan basically for like 13 years of your life. Then what happened?
was living with my mom, single parent household. My mom and my dad split. I was away from him for several 8 years, and my mom kind of like wanted to. She understood how I was feeling as a kid because I would get teased a lot, and so I would come home like telling her about this situation and that situation, like emotional and tears or whatever. And so she was like, well, what do you want to eat? Like what? And I was just like, well, I want to eat what the other kids eat. But she was like, well, we have to temper that. Like, so she wouldn't let me go all the way to like pork. She was like, we started off with like fish. And like, so I started eating a little bit of fish, and then I started liking that. My body started getting adapted to it. And then I would move over to chicken, and then I started eating chicken. But it never got to a point where I was eating like a lot of red meat or pork. I would eat red meat seldomly, but for the most part, it was like chicken and fish was our diet. And however, we would still practice our vegetarianism and our vegan. Like we would go a few nights, we would have like baked or sauteed fish, and then we'll have like the vegan meal that we usually, which is our go-to. And so even with the meat we were eating, we were still eating a lot of fresh salads, a lot of fresh fruits, a lot of more healthier grains. So we never really like, the real was never like all the way, like it was still a little like dialed in. Like,
it was still predominantly like a vegan diet, but you had added fish and chicken.
Exactly.
Did you feel a change in your body in a negative way once you started eating the chicken and fish?
In the beginning, yes. In the beginning, because my body was shocked with that kind of like lifestyle change from like eating nothing but raw and my like digestive system, and then now not just eating raw, but eating cooked meat.
Cooked and meat
and it's meat. And then so my body was in shock for a few months. So I was getting real sick. I started getting sniffles. And I think that was around the time where I started wearing like glasses and everything like that too. So a lot of things changed. However, also around that time I also started playing sports. Like I also started like, because when I was doing the raw vegan, my parents had me in like martial arts, like capoeira and taekwondo, and always something active. And then when I started eating meat, I started going into like more sports, tennis, football, baseball, basketball, and it definitely helped me as an athlete. Getting in a athletic body type. I started coming into like my athletic body type like around 16, 17. And I remember I was really, my diet was predominantly like a lot of salads, a lot of fruits, but I was also eating fish and chicken. And it would help me in my performance as far as like recovery and everything like that. But I think I'm a special case because my background was already very nutrient based, high nutrient based. So my mom would never let me go further from that. You know, she tried to keep me in a really healthy pyramid, food pyramid.
Right. You were still eating healthy. Now, how long were you eating? Because you ended up going back to being vegan, right?
Yeah.
How long were you eating the chicken and fish, and what made you decide to go back to your roots?
Right. Yeah, I know exactly. I stopped eating chicken and fish like around 2020, and then
so that was recent.
It was recent. It was like almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, 3 years ago.
Okay, so you were eating it for a while then.
Yeah, I was eating it for a while, but it was also I would go stretches where I would fast. Like even now, when I first moved out to Los Angeles, I was just on a fast where I would only eat like raw vegan stuff. Now I'm back into cooked food or whatever, but for the most part, my I'm sorry, I'm getting a call.
I was like, where'd you go?
My fault. Yeah, I'm getting a call. I'm getting blown up right now. Yeah, my fault. It was predominantly predominantly vegan based. So it was 2020 where I decided to like
What made you decide to go back?
It wasn't necessarily not I feel terrible. I need to. It was just more so like, let me do something good for my body, right?
Yeah.
Let me kind of like revisit places, from my past that were very beneficial and healthy for me. And that was also around the time where I started, when I started having therapy. Started therapy for the first time, in 2020, and that was great for me because there was always a stigma around therapy, like, you need it if you're crazy and everything like no, I've come to by talking with a lot of celebrities out here. A lot of celebrities have therapists and athletes have therapists, and you know what I'm saying, to help.
And ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. So the stigma behind it is a lot less now than it used to be. But then I just decided to do something good for myself.
That's good. So when you transitioned, how did you feel? Like, did you experience any benefits, or just how did you feel overall?
My body type has always been very athletic. It was only until like 2019, 2018, I started taking my fitness journey more serious, because I looked in the mirror one day and I was just like, oh boy, that's not you. And so I started hitting the gym more, I started working out more, I started doing all these things. And like now I've reached a point where I'm able to like teach and train other people. And that's what I do as a life coach, is I teach and I train people how to like not only eat right, but how to like work out properly, how to stretch properly. Other alternatives to the gym, like getting in the pool or working out at home, doing HIIT cardio. And that's also helped my performance. Like I haven't gotten a serious injury in a very long time. And I feel like a good diet it promotes healthy bone health. It promotes healthy ligaments, healthy limbs, healthy mind.
Yes.
And so I feel like that style of eating goes hand in hand with like what I'm doing. Now, mind you, on my cheat meals, every now and again, I do like eat a little bit of oysters or eat a little bit of shrimp every now and again. But that's because I know I deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the hard work I'm putting in throughout my training and working with people. And so and my background gives me such a pool of knowledge to like help people make like healthier alternatives to their diet. And teaching them how to eat and when to eat and what's appropriate for this. So
I like that. That's what's up. So a life coach.
Yes.
So do you dabble in raw and cooked, or one or the other?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll go a few days eating raw, or I'll go a few days eating cooked food. It just depends on my relationship with like my body, like how I'm feeling in the moment.
Right.
Like if my joints is really sore, or like if I got like a really good workout in and my muscles are super tight, then I'm like, let me get like a fresh salad to like get the lactic acid moving, get a little bit more water in my system, get a little high nutrient, high protein content. And then sometimes when I'm like feeling like, oh, I want to cook for myself, I want to like make like a veggie curry, or I want to make like a veggie stir fry with like eggplant or something like that. I have that choice because I'm not in a situation where my life depends on eating like raw or I'm at a place where I have the luxury to choose between the two.
You just
where some people that I train, they have to transition to this life if they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then it's all about listening to your body too.
Exactly.
Like the last 8 months, my body was just like done with eating a high raw and just wanted cooked foods. Right. And now, as of like last week, it just did a 180. It's like, forget the cooked food. I mean, I'm still gonna have cooked foods, but it's really like craving raw, fresh. And I never stopped eating fruit or anything, but I was just eating more so cooked food. Right. And now my body is And it might be the different seasons. I don't know, but like now it wants fresh and wants raw and wants more salads. So that's what I'm going to give it. I just do what my body says, you know? So give me like a sample day. I know every day is different, but maybe a sample day, or maybe what you ate yesterday. Like, what does a typical day for you look like?
Okay, so a typical day for me, it was my cheat day yesterday, so I'm not gonna tell you what I ate.
No, I don't want to hear about no cheat day.
Because I need my cheat days, man.
Yeah, you gotta have days, balance.
They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to me because sometimes your spirit calls for something different than your body, right? Even though they're one and the same, they're intertwined. Sometimes you have to exercise certain things to like appreciate the side. However, like usually, my diet consists of like a morning fruit smoothie, a lot of bananas, a lot of plantains, a lot of strawberries, blueberries, like in some oat milk and like some spinach, and I blend that up before I go hit the gym or hit the pool. And that carries me over to about lunchtime, fresh salads, chopped salads. That can hold me over for like, brunch, lunch, dinner time, usually a little bit something more heavier, like some sauteed purple cabbage and kale with like some rice and beans, and maybe like a curry or like a zucchini teriyaki or something like that. Yeah.
That sounds good. Your whole day of eating makes me want to skip.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's facts. And then, the West African stuff, remember I used to cook to do the West African thing.
Yeah, you throw down. You can throw down. I'm going to give you your props. Oh, that sounds so yummy. And it just sounds so light and free and just like cleansing,
Yeah, and it's packed with proteins. Like a lot of people don't understand, like greens, kale, chard, arugula, spinach, all that is packed with high proteins. Beans, black beans, pinto, navel, all those are packed with iron and potassium and proteins as well. So
yeah,
you can definitely make that transition.
You can get a lot of protein. You can get a lot of protein on this diet, this way of eating, shall I say.
Right.
A lot of people, I've heard so many times, I tried eating vegan, but I didn't get enough protein. I'm like, well, then eat enough protein. That's your own fault. Exactly. It's not because it's not because it's not there. It's not because it's not out there. It's just because you're not eating enough. You got to choose wisely, right? So speaking of protein, speaking of that, you're very fit. Very fit, you're very muscular. Show that, okay. Obviously, you're getting enough protein in your diet, and then you also work out, right? So you get your protein. You kind of mentioned some things, some of the beans, maybe nuts and stuff. Do you do protein shakes? Like
yes, I do protein shakes. Vegan protein. Sometimes I do the pea protein, the hemp protein, along with like my fresh fruits, like my bananas, my strawberries, my blueberries. And then I like to add like peanuts or peanut butter inside of my smoothies to like make it a little bit more. And peanuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios.
All that.
Great source of proteins.
Yes. And quinoa. Do you ever eat quinoa?
Quinoa. Yeah, I love quinoa. I tend to move towards couscous than quinoa, because couscous is a little lighter than quinoa. Okay. And you can get it prepared faster. And people say, couscous and quinoa are like bland, but it's all about how you season things. And the reason why people like meat is because it's seasoned with vegetables. So that's what gives it its flavor. So if you can season veggies the way you can season your meat, then it wouldn't be so hard to transition.
Right. Because I feel like condiments and seasonings are gonna make or break your meal. Like that's gonna just take it to the next level, right? So it's all about knowing how to season it, or even like certain sauces or certain things just to add that flavor. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's your fitness workout regimen? Like what's your
Ooh. Oh man, I go crazy. So a typical week for me, I usually start with HIIT cardio. Sometimes my HIIT cardio is comprised of high intensity training, which is what HIIT cardio means, high intensity training. So a lot of movement, constant movement, dancing, calisthenics. Um, Sometimes I'm in the pool. I'm doing hydro aerobics in the pool where I'm doing a series of different movements in the pool, where the pool is like maybe 3 to 4 feet, and I'm doing these movements inside the pool, swimming,
yeah.
weight
Excellent.
training. I break up my weight training between strength training and hypertrophy training, which is like less weight, more reps is hypertrophy, and for strength is more weight, less reps. So and I juggle those things throughout the week. So a typical day like tomorrow, when I wake up, I'll hit the pool. I'll do 30 minutes of HIIT cardio in the pool. And I'll do like about 20 laps. And then I'll head to the gym, and then I'll start hitting the weights. But before all of this, I'm stretching before and after.
Yeah.
Stretching is very important for mobility. Stretching is very important for elongated performance. So performing for a long period of time as an athlete versus just a short window. And it also helps prevent injuries.
I was just about to say that. And it also helps prevent injury, y'all. Y'all understand you got to stretch. You got to stretch. It's not an option.
It's not an option. And that's why I have the ability to do what I'm able to do now and do it for such a long time, is because I'm taking that time 10, 15 minutes before, 10, 15 minutes after. So yeah, that would typically be a regimen, and I'll be doing that from my rest day is Saturday, so from Monday to Sunday, Saturday break.
That's awesome. That's what's up. That's why you're so fit.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody keep calling me the Black Panther out here. They be like, "What's up, T'Challa?"
All right, last two questions. For one is, if someone is interested in transitioning to a vegan lifestyle, a plant-based lifestyle, what are some of your tips? And then who is your number one inspiration and why?
Some of my tips are to go at your own pace, and try to find vegan recipes that are already familiar with your palate. So things you already like eating, you can transition into like vegan style of those things. And that'll help you start to get deeper into the vegan lifestyle, which is not just like Impossible Burgers and like veggie patties. It's like it's a plethora of different things. Like you can literally everything you can think of that a meat combo is, you can substitute veggies and have it is freshly prepared and as tasty as the meat version of it. So definitely go at your own pace and start off with things that you're more familiar with, because then that helps trick the brain into being like, oh, I'm still eating the flavors that I usually like, but it's healthier. So that would definitely be one of my first tips. I would say my number one inspiration for that lifestyle initially was my mom, because she really was the one who taught me how to eat that way, and how to use the different like supplements and the burdock roots and the marshmallow roots and the herbal pills and the different alternatives to just like what's normal, what's status quo. And then as I got older, I started like diving into the teachings of Dr. Sebi. Not saying I'm like well versed in those teachings, but a lot of his teachings were like things that we were already doing as when I was a kid. So it just reaffirmed, my childhood in a sense.
Right.
oh, okay, like I was an outcast in a sense, but I was just more so ahead of the curve than
Hmm.
just being like an alien.
Yeah, and you were eating an alkaline diet, and that's what Dr. Sabi is all about, that
Exactly.
alkaline,
Exactly.
and he's all about herbs. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, I was
Exactly.
actually watching some YouTube videos, someone that was kind of promoting him and his ways of eating and his food list and all that stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
No.
Well,
Right.
thank you. Thank you. And
Thank
last
you.
thing, I want to give you a chance to shout out your album.
Hey.
Somebody has an album out.
Hey.
So talk about
Yes.
that a little bit. Tell them where they can find
Um.
you,
The
your social
album is
media.
yeah. So you can follow my social media accounts at my Instagram is Chango Chango.Zulu Zulu is my Instagram handle. Chango L is my Twitter handle. Facebook, you can find me under Taharka Chango. Those are my social media. And the album is called Joy. Artist name Taharka Chango. It's streaming on Spotify, streaming on Apple Music, streaming on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. So wherever there's music to be played, you can find my album. And it's called Joy, Joy. So
Yes.
please listen and please enjoy the vibes
Yeah.
we have to give you.
Got some
Mhm.
skills.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
Good
you.
job and congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you so
Well,
much.
well, thank you. Thank you. I think I went 4 minutes over. We did 24 minutes from the time we started our interview. So I stuck close to my time, as I said.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Anyway, thank you so much, Taharka. It was good chatting with you. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story. And I'll see you on the gram.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I appreciate you and your time. And until next time.
Until next time, I'll see you around.
All right. Peace.
Bye. Well, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed his story, Taharka's story, his transition, his journey. I think it was awesome. It was a little different from what I was used to in terms of people I've interviewed. So that was really, I really enjoyed myself. I hope you were inspired. I hope you were just encouraged to eat a healthy overall diet. I believe in 80-20, 80% whole foods, 20% junk. It's okay to have junk food and processed things sometimes, but make 80% of your diet whole foods. It doesn't have to be plant-based. If you choose to eat meat, I'm not trying to make people eat a plant-based diet. If you choose to eat meat and fish and stuff like that, go on and do that. But just make sure that the rest of your diet is good, healthy, whole, clean foods, vegetables and salads and fruit and nuts and seeds, smoothies. Anyway. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, check out my other plant-based interviews I had. I had some raw vegan interviews, some people who just eat regular plant-based. And then also my channel consists of, all things Nicole, like everything I'm into, my hair journey, my lock journey, my plant-based diet, I do some challenges on there, my acting is on there, dancing, praise dancing, even back in the day when I used to host and host for entertainment show, just all kind of stuff is on there. It's fun stuff. Oh, my Goodwill hauls. Anyway, just check out my channel. Go to my playlist. I have different playlists. You might be interested in more than others. So check it out. Thank you again for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.